Fellas, we are back again, and we've got another install, and we're back here on the top of the parking deck, and there's a random couch up here. So yeah, this video is already a little bit weird. Anyways, our last video with the Ram was installing these Boost Auto tow mirrors, and those came out great. So the guys at Boost Auto told me we've just got to complete the package, and to do that they sent out the brand new Lumistep M2 power running boards for the truck. And that's what's right here behind me. So we're gonna go ahead and dig into this. We're gonna get into the install, and I'm gonna show you guys how sick these steps truly are. All right, I'm gonna try and walk you guys through everything that came with this. It's two big boxes. Obviously, one is going to have the Lumistep M2. This step is you guys are familiar with like drop down steps. They come standard on a lot of like higher end trucks. This is a Bighorn, nothing high end about it, but that's what these are. So they're like a power drop down running board. But the cool thing is these actually have a built-in light that goes all the way down the side of it. As you can see, this light actually has both a white and an amber, so it can be used as a switchback, a running light, or even rock lights if you spec them appropriately. So I went ahead and kind of spec'd these out to the max, and because of that we actually have a ton of different wiring harnesses to go with it. So I'm going to walk through these as we need them, but there's 3 harnesses with the steps themselves. Then we have the main harness for the power drop down, as well as the control unit for that. And then this is all of the bracketry that's going to come in a separate box. As far as all the brackets go, you're going to have a driver and a passenger power unit, and then the rear units just kind of slide out and in. These brackets are actually relocation brackets for a module under the truck. So we're going to hop under there and we're going to get started. Now, first things first, when we're underneath the truck, we're actually going to see 3 studs. This is going to be where that front motor actually bolts up to. But the issue is this area is kind of preoccupied by this thing, whatever this thing is. Those brackets that I just showed you, we're going to actually relocate this back here a little bit, and that's going to give us the room that we need. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, looks like a 13, maybe a 12 millimeter bolt, pull this guy off, and then we'll add on those relocation brackets. And I guess before that, I'll probably just unplug this harness. Good. Well, I don't even know if I needed to do that, but it's out of the way. As always, using our Tecton tools. It was a 13. Now we're going to grab the bracket, we're going to drop these carriage bolts through it. This is going to be the new bolts that module is going to connect to, and then we'll use the factory bolts to bolt this guy up. So plugged everything back up. I didn't really even have to unplug those, but this guy is now in position and we should be ready to bolt up our motor here. Now we have the driver's front. It's just gonna go straight onto these 3 posts, like so. And then we'll throw a washer and a nut on there. And apparently I'm gonna need a wrench on that. Wrench on all of these. Sick. Now I'm gonna grab one of the brackets labeled rear, and we're back here at the back of the truck. We have 3 more studs, so this should just slide right right into place. We're doing the same thing that we did on the other side. Washer, nut. As you guys can see, this one actually just kind of moves on its own. That is exactly what we want to happen, because the motor up front will be enough to kind of push this step all the way out. This is just back here as your second mounting point. So now I'm going to repeat the exact same thing on the passenger side, and then we'll go ahead and start running the wires for all the different harnesses. Officially got both sides of brackets on, and now I guess is the time where we test out another one of the Boost Auto products, and that's this koozie. We're about to start running all the wires, so this is the fun part. All right, guys, I'm going to cut in here with a voiceover really quickly because Boost Auto actually does a phenomenal job talking you through the wiring. What took me about 60 minutes worth of film took them like less than 5. So I'm going to point you guys to their video. Go check it out based on your options. It's definitely a lot easier to follow than all of my mess. Now with all the wiring finally done, we can actually break out the steps themselves. Before we do that, I'm going to close and then open this door again. And in theory, we should have, boom, there you go. You guys just saw it opened up. Let's close it one more time. And it should close back up again. Nice, perfect. All right, so our motor is working. The steps are coming down. I'm gonna leave the door open so that we can actually mount up the steps themselves. And then we'll just have to plug in these 2 wires for the lights. And if we did everything right, it should work. So let's hope for the best. Setting up the steps, we actually have a hardware bag for the steps themselves that are going to come with essentially like carriage bolts that slide through, as well as some spacers here. Now, I did read in the instructions that if they don't come with it, you don't use it, but I'm guessing since it does come with it, you do use the spacers. So these are going to go right on top like so, on each side. And then in our hardware, we actually have these little carriage bolts, okay? So let me pull you in close. This is going to slide in just like so into this little rail. And we're gonna have 4 total. I'm just gonna go 2 on each side. And we're gonna get them, I guess, kind of roughly lined up with where they're going to go there. You can actually use this spacer to figure out your spacing for the bolts themselves. And then they should just drop in. And again, we're going to put these on. These screws are going to be a little bit loose, just because we're gonna have to make sure that everything clears. But we'll go ahead and get both of them started, and then we'll go back to the back and do the same thing. So with this finally fixed appropriately, we can actually plug in these 2 to the end of the running board here. All right. As you guys can see, it looks like our rock light switch is turned on because we have light there already. Perfect. All right, now we're gonna close it up, make sure everything clears, and then we'll tighten everything one last time. All right, as you can see, we're rubbing a little bit here at the front, so we wanna make sure that we come back. I'm probably gonna come close to the end of the cab there. Nice. Okay, I like that placement a little bit better right there. So I'm going to tighten everything exactly where it is, and then we should be good to go on this side, and then I'll show you guys how to tuck up this wire. Cool thing that Boost Auto does think about is this wire here. You don't want it just kind of hanging out there in the open, so they actually give us this little clip thing, and I'm just going to coil this up a little bit right here, tuck it up into the rail. And then once that's tucked up in there, we'll use the clip to secure it essentially up. I'm going to install the step on the passenger side, and then we're going to be done with this install. And then I get to show you guys all of the really cool features these steps come with. And that is a wrap, boys. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you go and check out Boost Auto Parts. These guys make some really killer parts between the mirrors and the steps. I'm a huge fan of what they're doing. Oh yeah, behind me, you guys missed that thing yet? Yeah, we're gonna do something with it one of these days. I'll see you in the next one.